I got this playing on the television. I got to shut that off. No, it's not mirroring. Just a second. It says it's not mirroring.
Well, I'm telling you, it's coming.
This is going to be the best. Folks, this is what we refer to as a cold open, and it is the coldest of cold opens. So that was my mom telling my dad that it's playing on the TV. It's playing on the TV. And there are the speakers. And with feedback and everything. Dad, come back. Just gonna yell at my mom.
Now it's working, right?
It was so good.
Before I came on, I put on, I connected it to Samsung television.
That was the best part, was Mom yelling in the background that you're on TV. That's why I wanted to record the beginning.
We were going to watch, she was going to watch us on television.
Well, the problem was you wouldn't be able to hear anything unless you were watching the TV.
Well, I had to watch the TV because the Diamondbacks are beating the Yankees again.
Shutting them out.
Yeah. Well, seems like the Yankees have decided to strike out a lot in the first two games, and torpedo bats have to hit the ball.
Well, this is the argument about the torpedo bat, right? Was the idea that all of a sudden they're hitting better. The Braves are ordering torpedo bats, apparently. And now the Yankees aren't hitting. Because what I said to Nick, I said, who cares about the torpedo bat? Because all you got to do is throw it to the outside.
Well, I watched Ellie Dela Cruz is using torpedo bat and hit 2 home runs against Texas. Those balls would have been home runs with a wiffle bat. He hit them so hard and
He's
so far.
Good.
I mean, sometimes you got to say, it's not always the bat. Sometimes the guy just really got it.
Well, the games against the Brewers were next level ridiculous, and what the Yankees had. Like, I don't watch the Yankees, and I was watching those games.
Oh, yeah, it's like batting practice.
Because that was kind of unreal.
Yeah. What is unreal is the pitching of the Dodgers and the Padres. The highest batting average on the starters of the Braves right now is 160. That's the highest batting average they got.
Well, it's early in the season.
I know. I say check their records when we've played 30 games.
As opposed to Milwaukee.
I think they won today.
They did. They won in extra innings. In a walk-off bunt.
No way.
It was a walk-off bunt.
I got to watch that. That's a replay worth watching.
Well, not often you see a walk-off bunt.
That's maybe the only thing worse would be a walk-off balk.
Which has probably happened.
I'm sure it has.
So Peralta from the Brewers has the best ERA at 2.08 with 16 strikeouts. But I think you got to go to Baseball Reference to take a look at what's going on with the Brewers here as far as the pitching is concerned. What's your take on the Dodgers this early? They're not losing.
I got the Dodgers because they were free to me last night at the end of the game.
Yeah.
They are talking. The Dodgers believe that they can win 125 games. I watched this kid, the guy with the red hair that Brendan's met his parents. His last name is
Justin Turner?
their pitcher. He's like their fifth starter. I'm telling you, last night nobody could have hit this guy.
Not Glasnow.
He was throwing a ball 98, 99 on the corners. His curveball's dropping in there, and he's their fifth starter. No, it's not Glasnow. It's what's his name? I'm thinking of Lux, but I think that was their second baseman. But it's not that. I can't
Dustin
think of-
May?
That's it. I knew it was three letters.
Well, guy's got a 0.0 ERA.
Yeah, he was unhittable last night, and he's their fifth starter.
I don't know.
Well, the Padres too are really pitching well, but let's go 30 games out and see where they stand.
Well, what are we right now? We're 1/16th through the season.
When we only played 5 games, 6
And
games.
even worse, we're 1/32nd through the season.
Yeah,
So you can't extrapolate anything out right now.
No. So the Braves are 0-6. In baseball, usually every team will have a losing streak of 5 or 6 games, even teams with great records.
Right.
So
I've got 2 guys that I'm following on Twitter that just provide the best baseball content.
yeah,
And I have alerts on for every time they send. They don't call them tweets anymore because it's X.
but isn't it that Not Guy Eddie is one of them?
Not Guy Eddie and the Warmonger, WAR. And Warmonger's talking about catches because what he says is like what you see on TV is these guys making these diving catches. He says, but before they zoom in on the player, you don't see them making a bad initial jump. Because they've got this stat now where they're saying a catch or a ball being fielded is like 60% of the time that's a catch, or which means that 4 out of 10 times it's a hit. And so what he's saying is, some of these people, like there was a guy that had a diving catch, and he said that the issue with that is that 90% of the time that's a catch, that hit. But it was a diving catch because his jump put him in the opposite direction. He had to recover and cover that ground in the outfield. So, and he talks about how the jump measurement is 3 seconds, starting with the pitch release. So it includes the time before and after contact.
That's interesting. I know we're not supposed to talk about current things, but the Mets, end of the Mets game, they got a strikeout with the tying run on third. I have no idea who the pitcher or the batter are. The batter was Otto Lopez,
Who's a Mets killer this year so far.
and the pitcher was some guy named Brazapan, like that
Brazelbon.
Brazelbon.
Yeah.
So I said, "Wow, if you had shown me those names, I would have never guessed that they were playing in the major leagues."
Well, Brazelbon's a great story because he tooled around the minor leagues until he was 32 years old.
Oh, the story gets richer.
And yeah, so he today at 35 years old got his first major league save.
Yeah.
So you got to cheer for a guy like that.
Sure. And he's wearing the right clothes.
That's right. The right laundry changes everything. So you want to hear about Brazelbon? You want to hear a story of Brazelbon?
Tell us about Brazelbon.
Well, Brazelbon was drafted. He signed with the Colorado Rockies as an international free agent in 2011 and played in their minor league system until 2017. So then he went to the independent leagues and
Oh my gosh.
he played with the Lancaster Barnstormers in Pennsylvania and the High Point Rockers.
Most guys at this stage are teaching history and coaching baseball at a high school somewhere.
If you're Lou Ford, you're coaching and playing for the Long Island Ducks.
There you go.
So then in January of 22, this is a full 5 years after He left the Rockies. Miami Marlins signed him and made his major league debut in 2022, July 24th, against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He pitched a scoreless inning and got his first strikeout against O'Neill Cruz. So a little bit of interest there. So he had 27 games in 2022. He posted a 3.09 ERA, 40 strikeouts over 32 innings. 20 of his 27 outings were scoreless, including his final 9 appearances of the season. And in 2023, he made 50 relief appearances. He had a 4.14 ERA, 65 strikeouts, 58.2 innings.
Who was that with?
That was with the Marlins.
Okay.
So in 24, the Marlins traded Brazoban in exchange for Wilfredo Lara. He will not make an appearance later in the story. Following the trade, he had 19 appearances for the Mets last season. He had a 5.14 ERA and 17 strikeouts over 21 innings. Got his first save today, April the 2nd. So congratulations, Brazoban.
An important one it was.
Yep. At 35 years old. I love that. That's a great story.
So the question is,
Yeah.
torpedo bats. What's
Okay.
your opinion on the torpedo bat, Todd?
So there's a couple things I agree with producer Eric on. Number one, I think it's a mind game because I think it's a major, major distraction. Because Francisco Lindor was using a version of this bat last year. Not as tapered at the end as the one that Anthony Volpe was using for the Yankees. But he was making like it's this big thing. Like all of a sudden it's, there's this revelation that, oh, wow, you want to hit the ball where the meat of the bat is. Well, let's just move the meat. Well, you could also just have the meat of the bat be the whole bat.
I think then you have a weight problem. They have to have a certain amount of weight, so it's just where you distribute it.
But you remember like back in like the 70s and 80s, they would scoop the end of the bat out,
Yeah.
because they were using a heavier wood then. I don't know if it was ash or maple.
If there wasn't some kind of rules, why wouldn't everyone use like those wiffle bats where they're big, the whole bat is fat?
But that's what I mean. Back in, I want to say, like, you had some guys, like, back in the early 1900s that were using a version of that, where it's basically an adapted cricket bat that was at the regulation 2.61 inches, and it was the whole length of the bat was that. But gee, these guys are using, like, 44-ounce bats to swing here. And, like, just to get, like, I don't know about you, like, when you think ounces, right, you don't, like, I don't process that. That's a 4-pound bat.
Yeah, and you got to use that bat to catch up to 100-mile-an-hour pitch.
Well, not in the early 1900s when you're doing that, but I mean, now, I mean, like, what are you looking at? 34 ounces are the heavier ones,
yeah, okay, that
like
makes
10
sense.
ounces less.
Right.
But I
Somebody
think
somebody told me that Babe Ruth's bat was actually thin. If you look at the pictures,
was
I
it
don't know.
thinner bat? Well, his hands were huge, so it was probably perspective.
Hey, look it. If you can hit, you can go up with a broomstick and get a base hit. I mean,
Yeah.
some guys just got the ability. You know, I'm doing research on Joe DiMaggio now. And
Yeah.
the guy could just hit. That's all there was to it. Yogi Berra once asked him, what the pitcher throwing? What are you doing? He said, just go up and hit. That's what he told him. First of all, Joe DiMaggio hardly ever talked to anybody, so that was like a wealth of information from him.
Right.
But he never. Ted Williams would, have all these scientific theories about this.
Read my book.
That DiMaggio just said, I don't understand why it's complicated. You're standing there swinging the bat. And,
But how, their eyesight and all that stuff, and being able to pick up spin and everything else on it. I think, listen, the torpedo bat, you're going to get into this realm where all of a sudden the bats are going to be super customized for your swing.
yes.
Where like if you're an inside swinger, I'm going to have like a customized torpedo and
don't they
placement.
all have their individual bats now? I mean,
They do, but I mean, like, how individualized can you be as to the density of the wood?
right.
And then what happens if you're able to produce artificial wood that's got the genetic makeup of maple or ash, right?
Here's my thinking on the bat is that unless it's blatantly illegal, like corked bats or something like that, why do we make a big deal of it since every team can get them if they want? It's like, to me, the tush push. Okay? Why doesn't every team do it? I mean, if it's legal, why are they all yelling about the Eagles? All these teams got 300-pound guys they can put behind the quarterback and push them.
Right.
I mean, it's until you don't like the play, if everyone can use it, I don't understand the problem.
Well, I think that's the thing because you get the people just they just don't like it because it's one thing or another. That was my thing with steroids. Now that you're talking about it,
Right.
everybody had access to steroids. Why is it bad? I mean, listen, ban it if you want, but the truth is, like, everybody had access to the same stuff that everybody else had. And I know the assumption, like, Bonds was never caught with it, but the assumption is he did because his head expanded to 14 times its size. But, like, he had access to the same stuff everybody else had. I didn't see anybody else walking more than they had at bats in 2004.
My friend, who's a big Giants Bonds fan, that's his argument. We all know he used it, but so does everyone else. So were the pitchers.
Right.
The pitchers were using it, So why pick on this one guy? So I don't know.
You want to talk about contracts going to a different part. Ketel Marte signed today an extension with the Diamondbacks.
Right.
That's a great pickup for you guys.
Jeez, they got him signed through 2030 something.
Not bad.
Yeah, and they just did that with one of their young pitchers too. I think that's the play for the teams that aren't rich is we can't play in the free agent market. So when we get a good young player, we'll just sign him for a lot of years and get. Corbin Carroll got a 10-year contract after playing a half a season.
Yeah. How many years they signed him for?
Marte?
Yeah.
I think it was a 5-year extension on the contract he already has.
He's 31.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that old.
He's right now terrific, but
He started with Seattle. I didn't know that.
he did. I think they traded for him. I don't remember. Yeah, I think they did. But you have to be a little more into it to remember all these little guys that get traded, little guys who become big guys or something like that.
Right. Right.
So,
Well,
has anything surprised you other than the torpedo bat about the first?
the Braves losing 6 games surprised me. Rafael Devers striking out 15 times in 19 at bats.
He got a hit today.
He did.
He got his first hit, and from what I can tell from the box score, he did not strike out.
Well, it's the little things. It's the little things.
they
What about
had-
you? What about you? Any surprise? With the the funny part, like speaking about like Gaetti and Warmonger, I think they put out this thing that Devers had 15 strikeouts and 19 at bats, which is the total amount of strikeouts that Tony Gwynn had in a season.
I saw that.
1 year,
I saw that.
which is blows my mind.
Yeah, I think send text back and forth about Greg Maddux because he's just the genius of pitching.
Right.
And that's the one guy he said, I just don't know how to get that one out. Tony Gwynn.
Right.
Maddox was really intelligent and I think you told me about that article where he gave up a home run to one of the Astros because he knew he was going to face him in the playoffs and he would expect that pitch again.
Right.
He planned the pitch to the guy 2 months from now.
It's huge.
Yeah, that's when you're really on top of the game and ahead of everybody else. So I'm just saying, what I'm surprised at, I am surprised that the Padres have won 7 games in a row. I knew the Padres would be good. I didn't think they were like Dodger good. But again, it's only 7 games. I
Right.
bet you if we look at it at 30 games, the Padres will probably be sitting there at 17 and 13 and just a couple games over 500.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We will see. There's a lot to. Baseball's a crazy game. You go out and win a series against the Braves, and then you get beat by the Rockies. So that's the way baseball plays out.
I'm trying to find, just to give you a sense, I'm trying to find what Francisco Lindor's stats are for the month of April in his career.
Are they good?
And
bad?
isolated by that. There's no way, there's no way this guy's hitting over 150 in the month of April.
Is that always?
I know he is not doing great this year, and last year was horrid. Horrid in April. And for a lot of May too. So I'm trying to figure out if I can filter Baseball Reference to find that. I don't know how to do that. Because it's kind of crazy right now how ice cold the Mets bats are.
Yeah, everybody goes through those streaks. I heard a funny story at the Diamondback game because they're in Yankee Stadium, and they asked their center fielder what kind of crap he has to take from the fans because he's right next to the fans. And he said, well, they gave me a nickname. I said, what's the nickname? Zero. I said, why? Their number's not zero. He said, no, that's my batting average. And New York fans, if nothing, are very well informed.
That's one thing that I really do appreciate about going to games in New York is that they have legitimate opinions. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, you get
So.
in big cities in the East, you get real baseball fans. I mean, so they really know and understand the game. So I do give them credit for all of that for sure. The Padres surprised me that they're 7-0. The Brewers. It doesn't matter, but I didn't know a team could pitch that bad for a whole series.
What made it crazier was the pitcher that they blew up was the one they picked up from the Yankees.
Oh yeah, he gave up a home run on the first 3 pitches of the game.
Right.
He had thrown 3 pitches and given up 3 home runs.
Brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And there was nothing. I'm looking up their Brewers stats for the year. So far, not great. Not great. Their team ERA right now is 9.64.
Yeah, that's hard to have a winning record.
Yeah, through 5 games.
Given 10 runs a game, it's pretty hard to win those games.
They have 45 earned runs in 5 games and 37 strikeouts. There's no planet where that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That can't last.
No, I don't know if their team is good or not, but I really believe in their manager. I know a little bit about Pat Murphy. He's a solid guy, and so we're not going to see that forever.
No, that's the other part too. Is that you get there's always the knee jerk or whipsaw or double take reaction to what's going on in the first 10 to 20 games.
Oh yeah.
You remember when the Rays won 19 games in a row to start the season? Everybody's this is going to be the greatest team ever, and then they blew up and didn't even make the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah, that was quite shocking because they had a really good record. I think into the 30th game, they still were running away with everything.
Right.
And that was quite shocking.
By the way, Francisco Lindor. I want to talk about shocking. He's played 11 times in the month of April in his career. Batting average is 250. pedestrian, but it's not, in today's day and age, not horrible. So you figure 11 months, he's got 170 hits, 29 home runs, 92 RBIs, 109 runs, with 174 games played. So he's underperformed what he usually does. So, I mean, like in 2024, his April batting average was 197. And that was a 1-for-31 slump at the beginning of the season. So, there you go.
There it is. That's the truth, and we're sticking to it.
Yep.
So
well,
we're
got some surprises.
Yep. I think as an old-time baseball fan, the thing I enjoy about baseball is they play every day. You don't have to wait till next Sunday to see your team play. Well, even see them, even if you don't watch them, you can follow. Did they have a good night or a bad night? Who did what and things like that. So there's something to look at every day. So that's what one of the things I enjoy.
So if you look at the standings now, what standings to you, 5 games into the season, are you like, all right, I get it. These are going to stay. So right now, and we'll go through real quick. Right now, I've got the Blue Jays in first in the East, Boston Red Sox in last.
That's not going to stay.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. AL Central, Chicago White Sox.
It's not going to stay. I don't care what else you tell
The
me.
whole division's tied for first right now.
Oh, that's good. And
So they're all 2 and 4. They're all equal losers.
Oh, the first place is 2 and 4. Okay.
Everybody's 2 and 4 in the whole division. AL West, Texas Rangers are in first. The Angels are in second.
That's shocking. But again, 6-7 games. So
Yeah, and the Athletics are 2 and 5, half game behind the Houston Astros. NL East, the Phillies are in first, 4 and 1. Braves are in last. Marlins were 4 and 2. We're in first place, but after the loss today, are in second, and Mets are solidly in third.
yeah, it's the only thing surprising there is the Braves.
Yep. In the Central, the Cardinals are in first place. Pirates, my pet project, are in last. Cardinals have a plus 17 run differential.
Yeah, that's not going to hold.
And then you got the Padres and the Dodgers are both with run differentials that are 21 and 25.
Look at the record of the top 3 teams in the West.
7-0, 7-0, 5-1.
Yeah. 19 and 1.
Well, Rockies are on last. That'll stay consistent.
Yeah.
So, who are they beating up on? Are they beating up on the Nationals, the Braves, and who else?
Cleveland and Detroit.
Well, there's American League teams. Why are they doing this to us? Mixing divisions. That doesn't make it as much fun. That doesn't make it as much fun. I'm going to tell you right now, watching Aaron Judge with the Brewers, he's probably one of the best hitters right now in baseball. He probably is as good in these first 5 games as Barry Bonds was. Like really, really good.
Yeah, he strikes out a lot more than Bonds did.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But is he going to hit 60 again? I don't see why he can't.
Well, you hit 3 in one game. All you got to do is do that 19 more times and you're there.
He's likely not to do that again for the rest of the year, but and he's so strong and such a good hitter. Imagining him hitting 60 isn't really out of reality at all.
No, but and if you're a Yankee fan, you got to like what Anthony Volpe's doing. His bat speed increased towards the end of last year, and he's coming in and now.
Well, I just
got
heard
a
something
little
about
bit more
Volpe.
pop.
As of tonight, Volpe only has 3 hits.
Well, then I
but
take
they're all-
everything back. He's
But they're-
horrible.
They're all home runs.
Oh, does he?
3 hits and they're all homers.
Get out of here. Is that true?
It was earlier in the evening.
So, yeah. You're not wrong. Holy cow. Hey, batting 158. That's a recipe for disaster. He's got to fix that.
It'll fix. It'll balance out. It's in the end, in math, the law of large numbers, you get enough numbers and the water seeks its level,
Yep.
and that's what will happen.
I'm telling you, I'm such a Cody Bellinger fan. I want so many good things for that guy. I really do. Because I feel like he got a raw deal with the Dodgers letting him go. And I wish the Cubs had kept him, but now that kid's got hustle, and I just want him to be in a good place. I don't know. Like one of those guys I just want to cheer for. Mm-hmm. So, but
The Cubs were in town for our opening for the Diamondbacks, and I think I underestimated them. I don't know if their bullpen's any good, but they got some offense. There's a lot of guys on that team that can mash.
yeah.
So they'll be an interesting team to watch.
They're fun. I feel like the Central Division in both the American and the National League are just fun teams to watch. But then I fall into this thing of like, are they fun teams because I think they're harmless, or what's the story?
There's parity. When the whole league is tied for first place at 2-4,
Yeah.
that's a picture right there.
Yep. We have Suzuki.
Are you talking about the Cubs? The Cubs,
Yeah,
Suzuki?
Cubs. Yeah, Suzuki.
Yeah, he can mash.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of Kyle Tucker.
Yep.
Dansby Swanson's a good hitter.
Yep.
And they got this guy named Peter Crow Armstrong. He's
Okay.
got a hyphenated last name that's so long it barely fits on his jersey. So his nickname is PCA.
Yep.
That guy can fly. He is so fast, and he covers center field. And
Yeah.
and the Yankees are coming back on the Diamondbacks.
So he was
Guess what just
Right.
happened?
drafted by the Mets.
Volpe just hit a 3-run homer in the ninth.
So his fourth hit?
Yeah.
Fourth hit is a home run.
4-0 game just became 4-3 in the ninth.
Jeez. Peter Crow Armstrong was drafted by the Mets in 2020.
I just that guy can really run. I mean, he's in center field. He covers a lot of grounds, but just on the base paths, forget it. The guy is. So, anyways, I think the Cubs will be interesting with their offense, and that might be enough in that division to win it.
Yeah.
It might be.
It could be. I know that Crow Armstrong was really highly touted for his speed, and it was who was the GM traded him, and it was during the dump. It was the big dump. We traded him in 2021 for Javier Baez and Trevor Williams. And immediately became the Cubs' number 5 prospect.
Yeah, and the Mets got Javi Baez.
God, congratulations, Cubs. Javi Baez, the gift that keeps on giving. So, well, good on you on that one.
So we're at that season now where baseball's launched. It's on 6-7 games, nothing to get too excited one way or another. But now we got the interference coming in. You got the Final Four, you got basketball and hockey heading into the playoffs. So that's going to take a lot of attention off baseball.
Yep.
So
Because
by the time,
people are going to settle in.
So 2 months from now, when all of the NBA plays like till July, I think they just keep playing and playing and playing. But then we will have a more clear picture of which of these teams are really good and which of them are just they find their level. So you just got to let that happen. Oh, and the other
Right.
thing is that injuries, right? Teams going along and then they lose a key player.
Oh yeah.
Lose a key player for 2 months, a starter or
Or,
something like that.
or substance abuse issues.
Oh,
If you're
imagine,
profar for the Braves, and they got that issue, right?
imagine that.
So
That'll change things up. But
yep.
so, what's the attitude in New York? Are they even paying attention to baseball yet?
No. We're. I think everybody was excited by what the Yankees did, but I think like for the Mets, cautiously optimistic because Pete Alonso's not in a drought.
No, he's carrying them.
Yeah. Juan Soto's hitting. He's just, there's some, you got some clutch things where you wish he'd kind of mash something or other. But I think cautiously optimistic. The pitching thing's an issue. We just found out Manaya's not going to be coming back until May.
Ouch.
But yeah, but Torrens has been incredible, like a catcher, defensively, as a defensive catcher has been fantastic. No, I kind of like where the Mets are at right now. Brandon Nimmo is really swinging a nice loose bat and doing what he needs to do.
Is there? New York must be all excited about the Yankees because of the Brewers series.
Well, yeah, I think that kind of took a lot of the headlines, and I think now Mets will come in for their homestand starting Friday, so they'll take some of the headlines there.
I just noticed the Mets, the Diamondbacks did close that out, so they've beaten the Yankees 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, yep.
So
We'll see what happens. We got to get some warm weather in here and make it worth it.
oh my gosh, what's your temperature? This game looked like they were playing. It was about 40 degrees or something.
It was, and it's a cold 40 degrees because it can be a warm 40 degrees.
Oh my
But if it's
gosh.
a cold, damp, windy 40 degrees, isn't that not nice?
No, it's not pleasant at all.
It's gross.
So
I'd have no problem if we had road games for the first 2 weeks of the year.
yeah, only play games in indoor stadiums and in the South.
Right.
That's stay away from the Northeast. But
They said it would be $800 million to put a roof on Citi Field. That's worth it.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, are they that desperate for money? I mean, they're getting huge crowds.
No, but I mean, I think it's the project. Like you got to deal with the permits and the construction and all that stuff. But I mean, you did $800 million. You put a roof on the field. You don't have rainouts anymore.
I know, but is it going to generate that much extra revenue? Doesn't seem like a good business decision to me.
Well, think about concerts and all the other stuff that you can book in the winter
Well, that's
in that
true.
venue that you can't do right now.
Right.
I mean, so listen, all good news, all good stuff. I think that it's good catching up with you on the baseball stuff. No Brendan today.
Oh, Brendan is, I don't know where Brendan is, but obviously he's making the world safe for women and children. That's what he does.
Yeah,
And
I think he kind of wanders the country like Bruce Banner. And then
he puts his superhero cape on and
Yeah.
goes out. But
usually following college hockey or something like that.
imagine that.
Yeah.
He did declare to me that Manchester, New Hampshire, is the biggest dump of a city he's ever seen.
Sorry, Manchester.
He stayed there 2 nights and then said, heck with this. I'll stay in Boston and drive to Manchester rather than stay here anymore. So
That's not a short
never,
drive.
I've never stayed about an hour.
Yeah.
Drives don't intimidate Brendan. I mean,
Well,
so. I mean,
well, what's
for you-
crazy too is when you get out here to the Northeast, you can cover some states. You get a decent drive. You can.
You want to hear his latest idea?
What's that?
New England should just be one state. It's just it's ridiculous to have that many states.
Well, Rhode Island is a blink and you miss it.
Yeah, it's very, very small.
You be heading up 95, and all of a sudden you're going through Connecticut, and you're expected to hit Massachusetts, and Rhode Island is suddenly there. I think they have one rest stop.
Well, it doesn't take very long to get through Rhode Island, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, they have the state welcome area, Providence, and then a rest stop.
How many Rhode Islands can you fit in Long Island?
Yeah, probably 4. Depends how you arrange it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably 2.
I think there's more than that. I once measured Rhode Island and didn't have anything to do with that.
By foot?
By southeast corner to northwest corner.
Yeah.
It was only 60 miles.
You're 2.5. 2.5.
You could put 2.5 of them in Long Island.
Just in Long Island.
Yeah.
Well, that's the argument that Long Island should be its own state.
That would be interesting.
So if you combined, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of identity up there.
Yep. We got to restructure all this. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
it's been great talking to you, catching up.
You too.
Again, everything we talked about baseball, in 2 weeks, we totally different. Other teams will get hot, other teams will get cold, and Volpe will end up getting a single somewhere in the next 2 weeks.
At some point.
At some points, he's got to get a single, so that'll change everything.
Yeah. All right. This is my dad, Peter, and this is Todd for Swing Batter.
All right, everybody, stay happy and follow baseball. It's good for your health, lowers your cholesterol, and lets you live longer. That's the truth about baseball.
There you go.